there is the letter of Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service to this panel that the petitioner has nothing to do, that the petitioner in his petition has nothing to do with his official duties, but purely a personal matter. It should not mislead the world that NAQS has anything to do with his petition. He should be precluded from testifying in his personal matter wearing the uniform of the organization. The Learned Silk for the Lagos State Government, as a friend of the panel, has submitted that the petitioner in his petition and evidence given before the panel has in no way misled or created the impression that he is here on behalf of the NAQS. It appears more an internal matter between him and his organization. The Learned Counsel for the NBA also associates himself with the views of Learned Silk that the issue is an internal one, but advise the petitioner to avoid any problem that may arise from his conduct and ensure compliance. We have considered the complaint, and the majority view of the panel is that the petitioner's employer did not show under the terms of the petitioner's employment that he has breached any rule or condition of same. There is no mode of dressing prescribed by the law setting up the tribunal for petitioner's mode of dressing. With all respect to the complaint of NAQS, the petitioner has not misrepresented to anybody that he represents NAQS in this petition. The issue of misrepresentation does not arise at all. In the absence of any statutory provision brought to the attention of the panel which precludes an officer from wearing his uniform during his hours of work, but to attend to a personal matter he has before a court or panel, we find it difficult to deny the petitioner a right of hearing today. It should be placed on record that the petitioner did not have notice of this complaint until he arrived here today. To prevent him from going on with his petition on such reason, to say the least, will be an exercise of bowing to the whims and caprices of NAQS. We find his mode of dressing decent and good enough for him to take a place in the witness stand. In the absence of any other tenable reason, the petitioner will be allowed to continue with his case today. It is for him to act otherwise at subsequent proceedings to avoid any issues with his employer. Yes, the petitioner will continue with his case.
My last appearance, I tender this flash drive. It contains 5 tracks, and the content are audio contents. I have some discussions with the police during my ordeal with them. So this has 5 tracks that I'm tendering to the panel. Then I was asked to pay some money, like I said in my last appearance. Some were paid by hand, and others were paid in an account I was directed to pay them to. I have 4 A4 papers that I make receipts of those payments here. I make them in a bank account. So I'm tendering this to.
Payments of money to whom?
To when they said I knocked somebody down that I should pay for his hospital bill at the local hospital. So another one I would like to tender is my car. This was my car on the day it was taken from me. On the 16th June 2018. This is exactly what my car looks like when it was taken from me. So I'm tendering this too. And this is what the car looks like when it got damaged in the custody of Nigerian police officers at Iba police station in Lagos. The DTO then was Woman Superintendent Helen Utitoju. She was the one directly in charge of the case. The DPO was Chief Superintendent of Police, Olushakin Gbenga. And of course, Woman Sergeant Destiny. She was the investigation police officer at Iba police station. And I got this picture, I took it myself at Iba police station on July the 13th, 2018. I'm tendering this one to us, an exhibit.
Yeah. What was the last one exhibited? No exhibit. Registry. A flash drive on marked SIM group make is hereby admitted and marked Exhibit A. Photograph of a car locked up in parking position and the same car with smashed doors are admitted together and marked Exhibit B. First bank duplicate receipts for transfer of money, 10,000 naira to Isiaka Kazim Olalekon, and 3 other receipts for 20,000 respectively are admitted and admitted together and marked Exhibit C. Yes.
I want to call for the flash drive so that I listen to it and still give some explanation on my audios.
Line 10. Bluetooth muted. Bluetooth mode.
Yes.
Just audio. Just volume. All this volume.
Mr. Adesanya, how many minutes of this thing do you still have to go?
This one has about 5 minutes more to go. But the other 4 tracks that remain, there's another one 16 minutes, there's another one 53 minutes.
Like this?
Yes.
With no photographs?
No photographs. No dates.
No dates, nothing?
No dates. The dates, I'll give out the dates. From you.
It can't come from you. The recording must show the date it was made. You can't use oral evidence to modify documentary evidence.
The dates were mentioned in some of them as well. The dates were mentioned in some of them as well.
You can't fill in the gap. We have to see them. The document speaks for itself, not through you.
Getting this one too is just like a rat going to a lion's den.
Well,
It will not be
can't-
easy for me to record the police.
you can't
Those
fill
that
in.
are oppressing me already.
You can't fill in the gap. There are rules for admissibility of documents in any proceeding, and the rules must be complied with. If the others are like this, we have no business wasting time. Anymore, you can't fill in the gap. The document as it stands must speak through the document itself.
But there's one that we were interviewed, that everybody spoke about what happened.
If it's not like this one, it can be played. But any others like this has not established anything.
There are ones that establish. That's what
Tell
I'm saying.
the
Please go to track 5. The last track. The last track.
technician, is this track 5?
Yes.
It has no photograph.
It has been with them since that first month now.
Well, it's very clear to us that track 5 too doesn't have any pictures. We can't continue listening to this. Technician, can you cut it off? Any more evidence?
Those are the evidences I have.
Nothing more to add.
No more evidences to have.
Very well. Ejiofor,
No, sir.
any questions at cross-examination?
Witness. Petitioner. I'll be correct to say that what led you to Iba police station was a case of accident.
You are not correct.
Yes.
So in one word, I want you to tell this man the matter you had with CSP, Olusegun Gbenga, SP, Henry Otitoju, Sergeant, Destiny of Iba Police Station. Just one word.
I don't understand that.
I said in one word, tell this man.
Come with your question again, please.
In one word, tell this panel the case you have with CSP Olusegun Gbenga, SP Henry Otitoju, Sergeant Destiny of all Iba Police Station.
I was illegally arrested by the three of them. My car was illegally taken from me. I was illegally detained for 3 days. I was illegally asked to pay money I don't owe.
Madam, I seek for the exhibit B and C.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Exhibit C. Now, before we go to exhibit C, in the course of this fundamental breach against you, do you have any reason to visit anybody in the hospital?
My last.
Yes or no?
You don't. I won't take your the way you
My
want.
question to you is yes or no? Do you visit anybody in the hospital?
You don't have the right to tell me how.
I am not having any of the control now. I am considering you.
Mr. Ejiofor,
My Lord, sir.
You can only ask questions. You don't
My
have
Lord,
the right
sir.
to tell
If
me
you
how to answer
answer
my
my
questions.
questions, God can give you time to explain. My question to you, did he have any cause to visit anybody in the hospital in the course of this transaction?
Mr. Ejiofor,
Yes or no, sir?
let's make the proceeding as civil as possible.
Ask God, please.
When you shout and overreact, it could tantamount to attempting to intimidate the witness.
But it's almost
You need to be calm. You need to be calm to put your questions across to the witness.
Mr. Admissibility, did you visit anybody in the hospital?
Before I answer that question, my lord.
No, answer the question, then you can explain later.
Ellen Otitoju, Olugbenga, Olusegun Gbenga.
The other chairman said you should answer the question before you explain.
That is
my
what
question: did you visit anybody in the
That is
hospital?
what
Then
I'm
you explain.
asking. That
Yes
is-
or no? Then you explain.
Yes?
The police took me to the hospital, not me. Can I give further explanation on that, my lord?
Yes.
Like I said in my last submission, I was driving through Igondo Road, and I was stopped at Igondo Junction for a check.
We have all of that in the records.
So from there they picked me up that I knocked somebody down. No, nothing like that was established, and I was illegally detained for 3 days. My car taken from me, and it was the police. It was the police that took us to the hospital where somebody was seen as being sick, and they asked me to pay money for his treatment.
Yeah.
Yes, as a mature Nigerian, what kind of sickness can you tell this man that you met the victim?
Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor. I can't say anything about that.
Do you know the name of that victim?
I think Kazim. I can't remember vividly anymore.
Okay,
but I think
Kazim or Laleke.
that could
Which
be
you mentioned vividly in the evidence in chief.
that could be correct.
As complices.
That could be correct.
I also be correct that this Exhibit C, that made up of 20,000, 20,000, 10,000, that were paid to this Mr. Kazim. You paid it to him.
Oh yes, I did.
Yes.
On the instruction of the police.
And we'll get to that.
On the instruction of the police.
We'll get to that. The first 20,000 was paid on 19th June 2018.
On the instruction of the police.
The second one was paid on the 29th June 2018.
On the instruction of Helen Otitoju.
The third one was paid on the 15th November 2018.
On the instruction of Woman Superintendent Helen Otitoju.
As complices. You wrote a petition to the General
Correct.
and you signed it and you dated it
Absolutely true.
as complices. Please, sir, please come and show me this petition. Yes. Let me read this, please. The detail then ask. No, the detail then ask. So can you tell this panel the response when people ask you about the victim? What is your response by that petition? Read that.
The DPO then asked about the victim I was alleged knocked down, and I told him that I do periodically to check on him, and that he's recovering fine.
As complices. So that was your response to the question the DPO asked you?
I'm the author.
That's what I'm saying. I said that was your
We are saying the same thing.
You are not saying the same thing.
I am the author of
Witness,
this.
you have to comport yourself. You are in the witness stand.
So when you mean periodically, like how many times periodically? 2 times, 5 times?
We are talking about 3 years ago. I don't have that in my
You are the
memory.
author, like you have said. I said when you said periodically, like how many times have you visited the
I don't have that in my memory.
As complices.
3 years ago.
So can you confirm to this panel that those periodically, it was policemen that took you periodically to the hospital?
Policemen are not order, and I'm not a
So
prisoner.
you agree that you
And,
went there on your
and
own?
I'm not a prisoner.
No,
So I don't know why.
You said you went there and payment of the instruction of the police.
Correct.
I am now asking you, periodically that you went to see the victim, will it not be a policeman or you went there alone?
When I say I paid on
Asking
this,
you about this.
excuse me, please. I have to expand my answers. When I said I paid by the instruction of the police, I was forced.
Mr. President, I'm not talking about payments. I'm asking you about visitation.
What
I'm
is
asking you about visitation. Not about the monopoly of violence.
what is?
I am asking you that in your petition, you said periodically, you went to this thing.
Listen, Ejiofor, I'm going to adjourn these proceedings. If you do not calm down to examine the witness.
My Lord,
You don't have to shout. You don't need that. You need questions, not shout.
my Lord, the petitioner is trying to discourage the questions. I am asking him a question exactly about.
If he's being evasive, you will always ask the question until you get until you really see the answer you expect from him.
Very sorry. Okay. So, can you tell us periodically? You went there. Let me just.
Your question again, please.
You went to the hospital alone periodically.
Yes, I went there.
It's a simple thing that you don't need to talk about.
Yes.
So can you tell this honorable panel the position of that victim that we went to see periodically?
The position of
That victim?
the victim?
Yes.
When?
No.
You said what?
No.
Now?
Yes.
You're talking about 3 years ago. Yes. I can't say anything
Okay,
about
as at the time you visited him, what was the position?
If somebody's sick, you've earlier asked that question, I told you I'm not a physician. So,
Are you surprised that the victim is late?
you said what?
Will you be surprised to hear that the victim died?
The victim died.
Yes. The person you went to see periodically in the hospital that is late now, will you be surprised?
That is not true. That is not true.
Okay, when last time did you visit him?
He was discharged in the hospital in October.
Okay.
And
No, don't worry.
this incident, you said it happened in June 16. He was discharged in the hospital October that same year.
I'll be correct that from the day of the incident to today, there is no pending action against anybody as to fundamental rights or whatever.
I don't understand.
Is there any action pending against anybody? In fact, people listed, CSP Bega, the two countries, Destiny and Inspector Hammer.
That's there.
Is there any fundamental rights application against them that you will file against them?
I only wrote petitions against them.
Okay, you will not file any action. So what's the outcome of the petition you wrote against them?
What do you say?
What's the outcome of the petition you wrote against them?
The outcomes are attached to the petition I submitted here,
Yes.
and you have a copy. I submitted A4 papers, 51 copies here, and a copy is given to you for free.
I'll be corrected to say that the area commander you went to, he directed me to go back to the police station.
And I refused. I refused. He said we should go back to you by police station and settle. And I said no. In fact, it has in one of the.
Just don't waste your time.
It's okay.
You were asked to go to the police station to be charged to God.
Nobody ever told me that.
Okay.
That's a blunt line. That's a blunt line.
So in your petition track and your story, you accepted to pay the victim the sum of 80,000 for bone massaging or whatever it is.
I was detained for 3 days illegally, though I was alleged that I knocked somebody down. And I said, take me to where the incident happened. Let me see the person you said I knocked down. Establish a case. Nothing was established. My sisters were coming every day for those 3 days that I was locked up. On the 3rd day, it was my sisters that make arrangement with the police that they will pay. And each time they come to me in the cell and say, we have arranged, we will pay. I said, no. If you have agreed to pay, you are telling them indirectly that I am the one that committed the offense. Until the 3rd day when they took me to the hospital and I saw somebody in pains, That was when I said, okay, I drive every day too. This can happen to me. So it is out of emotional pity that I agreed to pay. So do that now.
So you don't need to go to Ibadan when you're going to and it will be correct that out of the 80,000, you have just paid only 57,000.
Check the receipt I gave out now. I've even paid more than 80,000. Check the receipt I gave out now.
The receipt of the tender is about 50,000.
All the receipt attended now. Go and calculate.
Yes.
About,
is the receipt?
oh yes, about 85,500. I overpaid.
Please give it to him. Yes. Confirm that you paid 80,000.
That I paid.
More than 80,000.
These papers, the one I paid into bank are 60,000 naira. The one they collected by hand, 65,000 naira. It is written on it.
So you confirm that the receipt before the panel for expenses is 60,000. And
the one they took for me,
just confirm what you are saying.
I have just said that now.
So you can return it.
Yes.
So to date, you can't be able to tell the whereabouts of Kazim.
What do you say?
You have not seen Kazim again.
I can't, since October that I went there that he was discharged.
October 3 years ago.
Oh yes, October 2018.
Yes. That's it.
2018.
Before this panel, do you have your medical particulars?
No, I don't.
Malaka will go for you.
Mr. Ogunsoya, not your Ogunsoya. The petitioner is also Ogunsoya.
Adesoya.
Okay, Adesoya. Do you have any further witness, or that's your case?
To say more about my case.
Yes, I don't know if you are the sole witness.
I'm the only one in the car when everything happened.
So that's the end of your case.
That is all I can say for.
Mr. Ejiofor, would the respondent be leading evidence?
Yes, but we need to call the silent listing of the argument. Give me a further date.
Registrar. Fifth. What date? don't want that date, Mr. Ejiofor. Further hearing in the petition is hereby adjourned to 5th February 2021. Thank you, witness. Step out of the box.